excited for this podcast. It's only taken us how freaking long?
Like 2 years.
I think I literally asked you to do a podcast it was for sure last year.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
And it's finally a Friday afternoon, and we're trying to get this done before the kids come home.
Yes, we are.
And I'm just really excited to have you, so thank you.
Thanks, Lace.
For coming on. Is this your first podcast?
No, it's not. I honestly, this sounds bad. I can't remember previous ones I've done. But
how many have you done?
I think I did some a long time ago. Maybe 1 to 2 other interviews.
But for what?
I don't remember. That sounds bad because
You don't remember what you talked about?
Well, I think just Above Able.
Oh, so it was Above Able.
Yes, but I can't remember who interviewed me or what podcast.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm so excited to have Nicole because I feel like, because I'm super wise in my 26 years of life. But I feel like you have so many bubbles. You are so good in the community. You're running your business. You're a mom. So, I just want to chat all the things.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, first, I just want to know a little bit about you. I feel like when did we even meet? 2 years? It's been 2 years.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, but I only know you, this stage of life, Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
So, I want to know, where did Nicole come from? Where did Nicole grow up?
Okay, so I live actually still in Homer, Illinois. But
you grew up in Homer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I grew up in Homer, and a funny story is back in the day, I remember someone being like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, Homer," and they were like, "Homer Glen," the Chicago suburb, because they couldn't believe I was from such a small town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in Homer. Actually, my parents, how they met is a really cool story.
I want to know. Tell us all the things.
Okay, so my dad was in the Navy. My mom was going to San Diego State.
Okay.
And they got married 5 days after they met.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
5 days?
5 days.
Could you imagine if Oakley or Briggs came up to you one day? It was 5 days?
No. And my dad said it was lust at first sight.
Okay. Okay. I feel like we've talked about this, though. There has to be a physical attraction.
Yep.
And I know this is our first little tangent, but there has to be. Yes,
yep,
right?
Yep. So they saw and they got together.
And now we're here. Okay.
And now we're here.
Okay, so they actually got married.
And the rest is history. So it was fun. Okay, so that was the first funny
thing. Okay.
And so because they didn't know each other long, my mom is 8 years older. And so it was funny because my dad was told her he was the same age.
Wait, okay, so they got married and they didn't know ages
they didn't really know
anything.
each other or anything. And my dad's from Homer, Illinois.
Okay.
So he was like, oh yeah, telling her all these things, oh, we have the biggest house in Homer, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, and am I making this up? Did your mom speak English?
Yes. Yep,
okay, she did? Okay, so I did make that up. Okay.
And so she's Malaysian, so so they're in San Diego, and then they come back to Homer, Illinois.
And what did your mom think? coming from San Diego, and if I was I'm gonna have this awesome and then not that Homer is bad. I love Homer.
No, I know, but
what did she think coming to Central Illinois? I mean, obviously you probably didn't know because you weren't here.
She was Malaysia, beautiful to San Diego, perfect to Homer, Illinois.
Yeah,
and she was like, I cried every day.
Stop. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's huge.
And it's my dad's family is super redneck, fun, loving, but it's a huge culture shock.
Yeah, for sure. So, and she moved here by herself. Well, I mean, with her dad, but no family.
No family.
Oh wow. So is all of her family, your side of that family, still not anywhere near her?
Some of them are here in the United States, just kind of spread out. Yeah. Actually, my aunt lives in Kentucky, and she was a mail-ordered bride.
Wait, what? Okay, wait, can we dive into that for a second? So I want to say I know what that means, but let's pretend I don't.
Actually, I really don't even know what that means, but she is a mail-ordered bride.
Okay, we'll look that up later, okay, because I really don't know what
All I know is her husband
an arranged marriage?
No, it's they were pen pals.
Okay.
And then I don't know if he went there and got her and brought
so
her
completely
back.
met. So almost now social media, basically dating someone over social media, and then the first time you meet, you're married.
And I don't really know if how that mail ordered system works.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay,
add that to to-do list.
A catalog. And you're choose you, gonna write to you.
But is that not social media dating now? Hinge,
that
swipe,
is.
swipe.
They were the OGs.
Did you ever use a social media dating app?
No.
I didn't either. I actually didn't. I never did.
Well, at least you probably didn't have, like, I'm not saying that anyone that does has
I was like 10 when we started dating, so.
No,
I was not 10. I was 16.
So
I was 16.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're still married.
Love that. Okay, and then, so how many siblings do you have?
I have 3, 2 brothers and a sister.
And do they all live around here still?
My younger brother lives very close, like 5 minutes away in St. Joe.
Okay.
My older sister lives in Bellingham, Washington. My older brother lives in Washington, D.C.
Fun. Very cool. So all spread out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did you meet Kyler?
Kyler and I met in St. Louis at Fat Daddy's.
Perfect. Love it.
The time of my life.
Why were you guys each in St. Louis?
It was opening day weekend. I had a friend that had a birthday there, and so he was there. He goes every year to opening day with his dad.
So you guys weren't living there, working there. You just simply went for the weekend.
We went. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. And so I saw him at Fat Daddy's, and I was like,
like who is that over there?
I was like, I thought to me, guess at the time I was not in my prime.
What?
No, Lace, I was not in my prime. But
Okay.
I was like, I think's out of my league. So then anyway, is friends with my the friend whose birthday it was down there.
Okay.
And so
So you had a connection.
yes.
Okay.
So this,
Okay.
I don't think I've told people this, but probably not for years. So anyway, my friend and I go back to the hotel and we like go to sleep. Like I put in my retainer.
We love a good retainer.
I'm not wearing anything cute, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden at like 2 a.m., her boyfriend and Kyler walk in.
Stop. So this is the first time you're interacting with him.
Yes.
Okay. And Kyler was like, yep, you're the one.
Girl, I don't even know. All I know, because we weren't in the right state of mind, is like nothing happened between us. I just remember being like, oh my God, I hope, I don't want him to see me right now.
And he totally did.
And he ended up falling asleep next to me.
Oh, that's funny.
On the same bed, but we didn't touch or anything. And then I remember like really, really early in the morning, he left and like walked back to his hotel.
I can't wait until Oakley and Briggs hear this story
I
one
know.
day. It's great. Okay, so then you guys go your separate ways,
We go
and
separate
then
ways.
obviously, how did you guys?
And then I get
together?
a friend request on Facebook. And then I forget. We also had more mutual friends here. We actually went to the same school, but since he's 6 years older, we were never in school together. And then we hung out a few times, and I was like, I feel like he's just too old for me.
Yeah.
And honestly, he was like not the normal roller coaster of a mess that I liked. Like,
He was actually a good, stable human.
I was like,
Okay,
this is
yeah, we don't know that.
exciting.
We don't know that.
I need drama. Give me dysfunction.
And he checked none of those boxes.
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
like, I'm sorry, but this is too boring.
It's not gonna
for
work.
me.
It's not gonna work.
So there was that, and then he was just very persistent.
Oh. Okay. So then you guys get married, live in Homer,
Married, yes, ma'am.
and then what? What left?
here
What
we
now?
are. And here we are.
Okay. So you after school. Okay. So school was
Yes, school.
social work.
Yes.
Right?
So I went to ISU, undergrad in social work, U of I, master's degree in social work. I worked at the VA for 6 years in the mental health clinic, specifically in like suicide prevention and just a lot of work, obviously, with veterans. And then during that time, I started Above Able on a part-time basis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did it start?
Above Able?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was doing a lot of blogging, like fashion type blogging anyway.
Okay, so what does that look like? So I feel like right when I was like getting into college, because I went for fashion design,
Yeah.
like blogging and like websites and stuff was like kind of like we were hearing about it, but like I never like did anything like that, or like I've never even seen how that's done. So like when you say you were blogging, like what does that actually look like?
No, like it was like a website and you wrote like pages.
Like articles?
Yeah, and they were boring.
But like about like what?
Like it was stupid. Now looking back, I'm like, well, did anyone read that? It was
well,
like,
it got you to here.
I know, but like 3 of my favorite jeans. I'm like,
Isn't that crazy though? Like how you think that like is silly, but now you go on Instagram and it's a reel. 3 of my favorite jeans.
I know.
Like it's the
set
same
up.
thing. It's just different forms of content now. Okay, so while you're working at VA, you started blogging.
Yep, I started blogging then when Briggs was a baby, and what was I going to say? Started that, and then just through that, working with other companies, other boutiques, and I was like, I think I can do this on my own, and I would love to give it my own spin.
Yeah.
And just make it more personal. So I kind of took that social work background and merged it with a business entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
Because I knew Above Able, I wanted it to be different in the sense that it connected people. You felt connected to the brand.
Wasn't just clothes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So then I started that on a part-time basis. I think I did that for a year. And then I went full-time with it and completely quit the VA, which was a big, huge leap considering all my eggs were kind of in that basket.
Yeah.
And then I'm here now.
That's so cool. So I love learning about like the logistics of stuff. So like when you started Above Able, like did that just look like going on to some big warehouse and like picking 5 of each things and then you would ship them out yourself? Like what did that even look like starting it? Yeah.
I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I just got like a small inventory. I did a launch party here in my backyard, which was actually really cute and cool. And
you just had like a few racks of clothes or
yep, probably like 4 or 5 racks of clothes, but I made it super extra.
You?
I know.
For everyone that doesn't know, Nicole loves doing the most extra events and photo shoots, and I literally never know what I'm going to get in with you, so it's fine.
She doesn't.
I really don't. Okay, keep
but
going.
You're like me in some sense.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
So I worked with the party planner, a staging company.
Very cool.
Like we partnered, and we had drinks and like cute snacks and all the things, everything branded. It was private, so it was like invite only, but it just, I kind of just blew it up on social media because I think, and one piece of business advice I'd give people is like when you're going to start something, come out of the gate hot.
Yeah.
Like, that's my own personal opinion because I'm like, you set the tone.
For sure.
So it's like when people are like, oh, I'm going to kind of just try. I'm like, no.
Yeah, like things here and there. Like if you're going to start something, come out.
Yes.
Okay.
Like make it a to-do, in my opinion. But that's my personality. That's how I like to do things. It's just what seemed to work for me. So anyway, I did that. And then I was still working at the VA. So so this is kind of cool. Every morning at 5 a.m., because I would be getting ready for work and then I have to go to work, I would release a new item.
Oh, wow.
It was the only manageable way I would have time to package things at night and make sure they would ship out in time. You
know, that's actually interesting that you brought that up because I've thought to myself before, how did you get into the dropping style that you do? Because if you are not in the Facebook page or don't follow Above Able, you definitely should. But it is unique because you only drop very few items every day, like Sunday through Thursday, right, is your new schedule. So it's not, you can't just go on and go get whatever you want. Like it almost creates that like, honestly, urgency. I think that's why your community is so good because they're constantly having to like plug in and see what you're posting and like see what's being dropped. And so that's how that started.
That's how it started, out of like
that's so
necessity.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I was like,
I never knew that.
Yeah, girl. So it was born out of necessity, and I was like, wow, this works for me.
Yeah.
And so then over the years, it just kept growing. So it went from like 1 item to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So then the drops just get bigger. And yeah, so that's just kind of the model I've gone after, what has worked for me, and I love how it was like born from.
That is so cool. So if someone is out there wanting to start something, because I do feel in the time that we're living in, I don't know if like COVID made people want to be more, stay at home or like more interactive, which obviously I love that. I feel like a lot of people are doing maybe something on the side or wanting to start like a creative outlook. What would you suggest to them, or like what would you advise for them to do?
Just like in any field.
Like, let's say I came to you and I was like, I have an idea for sweatshirt printing. Like, where do I even begin?
Yeah.
Not that I do. I'm just saying, like, if someone out there is like, I am a full-time mom, have kids, but like I enjoy screen printing on cups or whatever. Like, where should I even begin to create a side business or maybe grow it into something.
So I think one part of business that people don't talk about is the back end of like all the legalities.
The ugly stuff.
Yeah. So I would look into exactly what licenses you need to just make sure you're set up properly with that in regards to like taxes and liability and all of these things that I'm not a professional at. So I'd say that would be the first thing. And then secondly would be branding. So like, what is your vision for this sweatshirt company? And like, when you think of it big picture, what's the colors? Where do you see it sold at? Like, what's the vision, social media wise, things like that. And then run with it that way. And give it 110%. If it's something that you want to pursue on a full-time basis.
And I feel like understanding why you want to do it is like huge, because I think it's very easy to look on social media and maybe we just show you the finished product or we just show you the fun photo shoots that we do, but we don't necessarily show the hours or the money we put into finding someone who can help us legally and all this. And so it's like, I think people think that it's entrepreneurship or maybe juggling like a side business and a full-time, that it's just like this glamorous like thing. And I would say more parts, at least for like my position, are probably not so much of the glamorous things. Like very little is the glamorous parts. And so if you don't have a strong why and like maybe your end goal is to, you know, have more time flexibility to be able to quit your full-time job. I love that. But if you don't necessarily have a strong why, then it probably is not going to
be
flourish.
Yes, ma'am, you are so right.
Then it's just going to become like task oriented, and then that's not
a way to live.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So when I started Above Able, I was like, oh, I want freedom. I want more time with my kids. Like, this is such a special season of life before, you know, Oakley was getting ready to start kindergarten, or maybe she was in kindergarten, and then Briggs was still at home. And I'm like, I would always regret it if I never gave it a shot and never got to kind of be with my kids how I want to show up for them. And so that was kind of my why. And I don't know if I'll do Above Able, the clothing side, forever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just seeing what journey this takes me on to the next thing, or maybe this will last a long time in the clothing part. But I see the future of Above Able just continuing to evolve as I evolve as a mom, as a human adult, because in August, both of my kids will be in school.
Yeah.
So it'll be a whole new ball game for me.
And then I'm moving in.
And then Lacey's moving in. Or maybe I'll become Lacey's nanny when she has a baby.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Next question. No, I absolutely love that so much. And I have like so many like questions to go. Okay, so leaving the VA. Let's start there. So leaving the VA and taking Above Able full time. What was that like? The fear and like the excitement and all of that, like your first week full time Above Able, were you just like, oh shit, like what did I do?
You know what, I've actually never, and I was telling Kyler this, I have like anxiety about certain things in life, but I don't have anxiety about failing. So I told him, I don't even feel like that's an option for me.
You know what's interesting? I think that's a very rare trait to have.
I think so too. It's kind of scary because I probably should have that.
It is, but it's not, because I feel like, who was I just talking to? I don't remember what the conversation was, but so many, like, fear stops you from ever getting to even trying like that goal or like whatever. So it's like so many people stop before they even know if they can, because just like, because you could show that like I'm leaving my stable, full-time benefits, you know, all these things for a clothing company that who knows that you're literally doing all on your own.
So that's why I would recommend young people to get an education, to get some type of training, because I always knew in the back of my head, if this for some reason fails, I have a backup.
Okay.
And I could return to the VA. I left on good terms. So in the back of my head, I've always been like that. I have a backup. So that is a safety net for me. But yeah, I guess I just, I worry and have anxiety about certain things, but Above Able failing has not really ever crossed my mind. I
think because I'm a super expert in business, and so I just know all the things. I feel like because you've built the community that you have, that, not that that's the reason. I mean, it's a huge reason. I feel like that it's so successful. And even if you took off time, which you did like during the holidays, and if you took off a month or two, you know, from dropping clothes, I don't think your, let's make sure. I don't think your like community would waver at all.
You don't?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm glad we figured that out. No.
Well, okay, Lace, so I guess another piece of business advice I'd give you and other people who want to start businesses is that an audience is temporary, but when you build a community of connected people, which kind of goes back to the basis of what I wanted this to be, it's a whole different ballgame.
I love that. And I think some people, when they see that I like, quote unquote, work with Above Able, they're like, wait, you're a dietitian and you work with a boutique? I'm like, I mean, yes, technically I wear the clothes and like whatever, but like it's the community that I love so much. And I have personally met so many women in this community through Above Able and like through everything you're doing and through the church and through, you know, other organizations. And I would have never been able to do the things or meet the people without working at a boutique or like, you know, do you consider me working?
Yes, I almost said you're my number one employee.
Technically, I'm not even an employee.
Other girls that work
we
for
all love you.
No,
we love everyone.
No, Lace, you are an OG, that's for sure. And I that's another thing I want to tell people is that when you bring people into your business, it's a very personal thing because it's your baby. It's like introducing someone to this newborn or whatever stage your business is at.
That's so true.
Yeah, and for Above Able, it's like it's so connected. It's on a deeper level than business that I like want everyone to know Lacey and like why I love Lacey and what's great about Lacey or Morgan or whoever it is. So don't be afraid to highlight other women or people that make your business what it is because it can be scary to do that and it can be hurtful at times. But at the end of the day, I'm like, who's being elevated here? Do I want myself to be the shining light all the time or do I want other ladies to shine and for at the end of the day like people to see God? And I'm like, so I don't want to be in the limelight 24/7. And
you do a really, really great job, and I think that's why the Facebook page is so like great and so connective because I mean, you'll have your family posts in there, and of course the clothes get posted, but you do such a good job at highlighting members and if someone's going through something and like the anonymous questions and like it's just it's like your little blog has transitioned into the Facebook page and just everything that you write in there.
It really is fun. If you don't belong, you totally should. It's like it's
really fun.
Just like forum almost of like random questions that are funny and sad and happy and like health,
support,
and recipes and all the things, and it's like just a really.
It's like it was like, wait, this is a boutique. Like, I thought this was like a women's like therapy group or something. I don't know. And you know what I think is hilarious? If any of the Above Able girls are watching this, that page is not private.
No, it's not private.
I think that is hilarious, and I love like I mean clearly I feel like I'm a pretty open book. Like things don't bother me. But it's so funny because people will write in there like, this is not private.
I know.
I think it's so fun.
It's so funny because there are comments that will take us back. Like, wow. But
all are welcome.
I forget why the exact rule as to why I never made it private because I believe something along the lines of once you get to a certain point, like you can't get additional members or there's
silly.
There's something where it's like you want to keep it private or public long term for growth.
I mean, hey, more the merrier.
Yeah. And at the end of the day we don't discuss anything.
No.
Well, there have been a few posts.
There was one.
Do you make out to make out?
Yes. Okay, this is the question for everyone listening. How was it written?
Okay, so you were here. Like, why did that question come up?
We were talking about something crazy, obviously, and I think you had said, like, I don't think I just make out with Kyler just to make out.
No,
like, if I'm making out, like, things are happening. Like, we're not just like, hey, honey, how's your day? Make out, go on.
Yeah, we're not making out to make out. So that's I don't know how we even came up with that, but that
was a question.
And there are a lot of ladies that make out to make out. I'm just not one of them.
I'm just not one either. Like a quick peck and I'm good.
I'm about efficiency, so if we're going there, let's go there. But there are ladies that said making out before like they leave for work, and then there's something to look forward to when you come home. But I'm just,
I'm here for it if that, and these are where the conversations go, and it's so freaking funny.
It's funny. It's like real girl talk.
It is. And
I like that. Like, we just need to be real and like talk about things that are funny and like.
And there's so many different age groups too. And so it's like, so for that question, you have someone answering that's been married for 50 years or 40 years or whatever. And then you have someone that's single and like 22. Yep. And so it's just so funny, like reading everything. It really is like a combined like blog or who knows.
Oh my gosh.
That was one of our funnier.
Was fun. Where the comments did get a little racy.
They got a little racy.
That one was the one.
They did.
Yep.
Okay. I'm here for it. So anyways, with Above Able and like, I feel like other women listening, how do you juggle it all?
Oh my gosh, I do a terrible job a lot of the days. But that's one thing that I just feel like I'm moving into more of a season where I think when I started Above Able, it was like one of those things I was like, I'm going 110 and I don't care what it takes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it and do it really good. And so in turn, there would be like, I wouldn't sleep a lot. My family had to sacrifice a lot. I mean, there's just that's one thing that I'm like, I kind of want to change that narrative because as women, we can do it all, but something will suffer. There's always a sacrifice. And as I just get older and my kids get older, I'm like, I don't want that sacrifice to be my family.
To be the family, yeah.
So I'm like, if my business doesn't go worldwide, then that's okay.
Yeah.
But I would say the first couple of years, the first year and a half especially, I was going so hard. And honestly, I would say that showed too. Yeah. Just because it was like, it grew. And people were kind of like hearing about it and seeing things, and we did events. And I think a lot of more innovative things that other boutiques hadn't done around here. Yeah. Yeah. But now that I'm moving into another season of life, I'm like, well, now I want to prioritize better. Yeah. And take care of my health, like things like that.
That is so true what you said. Like, it's like we do feel like we can do it all, and I do think we can do it all, but like, can you? Like, I know you've told me multiple times you can't do it all. Yeah. And I'm just like, but like I have to. And then we like go through my list of everything that I am like doing or need to do, and then we both are quiet and we're like, yeah, there's nothing you can give up.
I know.
But then I'm just like, I just don't know, because I do feel like I'm in that spot now that you used to be, where it was like the quote unquote grind. Yeah. And I've even noticed like Jared and I haven't had date nights, or like I wake up early to get things done, but then I go to bed early, but then he goes to the gym late. And so it's like our schedules don't really work out. And so how do you even like, so part of my mind is like, go hard, grow it fast, grow it good, like keep it really quality, but like grow it so then you can chill. But then part of me is like, okay, but then do you waste those gaining or whatever to maybe grow a little bit slower, but you have more of that balance?
Sorry, my kids just came in.
They can come in if they want.
No, it's fine. So that's what I think. We can do it all, but I would say I don't know if we can do everything well.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's kind of like at the end of the day, like, yes, you can do this, and this, but are you going to be 100% at all of those things? I don't know.
So what, you feel like you have to pick and choose? Girlfriend?
Yeah, I would say prioritize accordingly and align those priorities with your values. Yeah. So, like, for me, faith, family, business, friendships, things like that. But I'm like, at the end of the day, if it is Above Able, that has to, I don't want to ever say, like, take the back seat. But if it has to grow more slowly, then I have to be okay and at peace with that. For sure. I think it's just my season of life. I would never want to sacrifice this time with family for the huge, big growth of Above Able.
For sure. So I have some questions for you. I want to know what are some pros to entrepreneurship and what are some cons.
Oh.
So whichever one you want to start with first.
Okay, how many of each? Or does it matter?
It does not matter.
Okay, some pros of entrepreneurship are freedom.
Yeah.
And I think for me especially, like, I love the freedom of creativity.
Yes. So it's like so many directions
awesome.
you can take it with. And even though like, quote, like you're working with a boutique, so like technically you're working with clothes, but like you have done so much with quote unquote clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like with the community and the events, and now you do more marketing for other businesses and stuff. Okay, so freedom and just the creativity. I love that.
Yep, I love like the freedom of creativity, the freedom of time. So even though I'm very busy, I get to kind of figure out what my days look like.
Yes.
And if I want to go get my nails done at noon on a Thursday, I can schedule that in.
Yeah.
Whereas before, working at kind of a 9-to-5 job, I would have to request off, and it's just more difficult process to do that.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that entrepreneurs work less hours. If anything, that we work more. Yeah. But we have a little bit more flow with the hours. So we might be working till 10 p.m., but we could go grocery shopping in the middle of the day if we wanted to.
Exactly. And that right there is a pro.
Yeah.
Grocery store during the week.
1,000% agree.
Yes, that's a huge pro. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the networking part of entrepreneurship.
Really love that.
Gosh, I've met so many amazing people, which I never would have met had I not started Above Able. So that's another huge
We would have never met.
I know. So huge
I love that.
pro, like people. So I would say those are the pros. The cons are there's no off days.
None.
Ever. It never shuts off. So even when you're on a vacation or whatever, there are things that have to be addressed.
Yes.
And that's not going to go away when you own the business.
No.
So that would be the biggest con to me.
For sure. Okay. I love that. And then let's see, a piece of advice you would give your younger self. So like sitting where you are today, giving advice to me or like a younger individual, or just you yourself looking back, like things you're stressed about or whatever. Like what advice would you?
Oh my gosh, Lace, that's so much pressure.
I know. I actually was writing that. I was like, I would not be able to think of an answer.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I can answer that, with a good, solid, clear answer. But I would say one thing is I wish I would have just like been more aware of my potential earlier on.
Really?
And just like not allowed opinions or my own fears or whatever it was to hold me back. I wish I would have just confidently walked through life.
I feel like we talk about that now. Like,
even now I struggle with that,
But like, I feel like it's so easy to let other people decide like your trajectory or like your values or like whatever. And if you really just, I'm acting like I'm like the smartest person ever. But if you really just like focus on like your core values, like what you want, and let that guide you, then that's all we gotta do.
I know. And I'm a people pleaser by nature. I want people to like me. I want them to be happy, be like what I do, like all those things. So I'm like, that's difficult when you don't feel like you're getting that approval.
Yeah. And having such the community that you do, I feel like that would be hard. Like I don't have the same daily like community really. I mean, a little bit, but not nearly as much. And so I feel like I would feel like I need to be on or like always attentive or like, I don't know, feel the same. So that is true. It's basically like you have 8,000 or however many people just sitting in an auditorium waiting for what you're going to do.
The next thing.
What you're going to say.
I know.
So anyways, was that
was
okay?
That
was a piece of advice. Yeah,
okay.
I know that was a piece of advice.
I'm trying to think. Okay, ask me the next question, and if I come up with another piece, I'll say that piece.
Honestly, we answered a lot of these. Let me see.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, we talked about values, just juggling it all. Yeah. So what's next?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that, when I was chatting about Above Able and just the involvement of it, one kind of like, I guess, side business that has come out of the main business of Above Able is marketable. So so just like having or helping other small businesses with their social media marketing. So that's one thing I think that Above Able has done well.
Yes.
in a way that's kind of different than other people's strategy, which I guess at the end of the day, it's like almost not having a strategy.
And I think that's what my favorite's about you, because you don't have curated posts. You don't have necessarily a schedule. Like if it comes to your mind that day, it's there. Yeah. And I love that piece.
Yep. So I would say at the end of the day, what I stated at the beginning of the podcast, like connection is everything. So when you're building your brand, Lacey, I feel like sharing about Lacey is what connects people to you, which is what makes them want to go to you as a dietitian. Yeah. To make them trust you, all of these things. So kind of taking what I've done with Above Able and implementing that with other brands that I've been working with. But I've been getting some help on the back end from Lacey's friend, Gabby, and we've kind of just been working slowly through it as I've had time with like creating a website, a streamlined process, packages, things like that. Yeah. So I'm hoping very soon we can launch Marketable, and then we can be open to accepting more businesses that we can help. But for now, oh my gosh,
I'm hiring you.
Well, for Lacey, I'm free. But yeah, that's kind of the future, the next thing. And
that's so
Above
exciting.
Able, we'll just kind of see how it continues to evolve. Hopefully Lacey stays forever.
I'm not going anywhere. I said next we're going to have to do like maternity and then like as you age. And I'm going to be like nursing home. We're going to be doing Above Able shoots. Like we're going to do a slipper line. Like we're going to do all the things.
Yes. So it, just looking back at the last 3 years, it truly has evolved a lot and very fast. In all the ways. So just like with community, with people with Above Able, and then just me as maturing on my own. So I don't know. I hope to launch Marketable next, and then also kind of like prioritize time management better, do that better this year, and do more things that kind of outside of business that make my heart happy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, that's all my questions. Thanks for taking some time out of your very busy life. But then also like the days we're like, let's work, and then we randomly go get our nails done. So it's both of those work great. Well, I love you so much.
I love you more, Lace.
And I really appreciate your time.
Oh my gosh, anytime.
Okay, so where can people find you?
Okay, so aboveable.com is our website if you want to shop. And then not hashtag, at what? Above Able Shop.
Hashtag.
Not hashtag. The at, is that how you say it?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, on Instagram, at Above Able Shop, Instagram, and then our Facebook page is Beyond Able. That's our Facebook group. Yeah. So you can find that there.
And I'll tag everything.
Yeah.
Hello. So you guys should definitely go follow Nicole. She's the best. And we will be in touch. Thanks, Nicole.
Okay, bye. Liz, that was so fun.
Good.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Your support means more than you know. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you could leave a kind review, subscribe to this podcast, as well as share this on your social media with a screenshot. I am blessed to have this opportunity to connect with individuals like you and hopefully bring you some happiness today. You are the reason Authentic Health is possible. I value all of you so much. If you'd like to get to know me a little bit more, you can find me on Instagram at Lacey_Authentic Health, as well as my website listed in the description below. So thank you again, and until the next episode, let's chase our best selves and make it a great day.